Welcome back to What My Dad Does and the second part of the beginner's guide to painting. So today we are painting the ceiling. So if you watched a beginner's guide part 1, you would have seen that we started off with bare fresh plaster and we've given the whole room one coat of a mist coat of white paint. One thing I should say is that I do the mist coat all in white paint, simply because white paint is cheaper than a colour. So I will be putting a colour on these walls, but I mist coat it in white just because it's a far away base and it doesn't really matter what colour it is. When I put we're going to go for a very light greyish lilac-y colour, I think. Over that, then that will go fine with two solid colours of that. Over this white should be absolutely fine. The ceiling obviously is going to stay white. I don't know why I say obviously. Obviously you can have different colours on the ceiling, but this one is going to be white. I have given this a sneaky second coat since the previous video. So the first mist coat is always 25% paint, 75% water. It's very, very wet. It's going to run all over your arms and go everywhere. I put dust sheets down, tidy it up. The second coat that I put on there is 50% paint, 50% water. And now I'm at the stage where I need to start thinking about filling and maybe a light rub down. Now, I can't see at the moment, and it's good sunlight in here today, and I can't really see anything that needs filling particularly, but I can see two little areas where it might benefit from a rub down, where the plaster, the water has just settled in a line. I just want to rub that down lightly. So I'm going to use my pole sander that I showed you in the previous video, and I'm going to go over this and just lightly rub it down. And then we'll see what we're left with, and we will go from there. Okay, so the ceiling's rubbed down. I also took the opportunity to rub the walls down as well. It doesn't take long. It's taken maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes. So the ceiling's actually really good, especially for a ceiling that was plastered over an old Artex ceiling. So there's not much to worry about on there. I still can't see any filling on it. The walls around some of the sockets, there is a fair bit of rubbing down, fair bit back to the bare plaster. So what I normally do at this stage is I go back to a little bit of the paint that I've still got mixed up that was 50-50, and I will go around with my roller and just re-roll those bare plaster areas just so they get sealed again. And then this whole thing is rubbed down and sealed. And then probably what I'll do actually, I'll probably give the walls another coat. I'll probably give the walls another coat of that 50-50 paint, just so that and the ceiling are at the same stage. Then I'm going to literally finish the ceiling. The reason for doing the ceiling first is that it drops like a fine mist of paint when you roll it everywhere, all over the walls and everywhere like that. You might get drips and stuff like that. So you really want the ceiling finished before you attack the walls. So don't forget, the first thing we do is always cut around the edges, cut around any light fittings and things like that, and then we're going to roll the ceiling. By the way, before I start doing that, I just wanted to come back on something I said to you guys yesterday, which was about wrapping your rollers in cling film rather than washing them out at the end of every day. So this has been wrapped in cling film. Now going to take me 4 hours to unwrap it, but underneath here I can feel through the cling film that it's all squidgy and wet, nothing's dried out. So that is literally good to go, and it saved me time washing it out, and also it hasn't lost all that paint. So anyway, let's get on. I'm going to touch up the ceiling and do the walls again. Okay, so I have now gone back over the patches that I've rubbed down. So let's recap where we're at. We started with fresh plaster. We gave a mist coat, 25% paint, 75% water. We've then given it a second coat, 50-50, and I've then rubbed it all down. And then I have gone back over any patches that have rubbed back to bare plaster, just with that 50-50 paint, just to reseal it. Let's talk about filling for a second. I would fill at any stage that I see something that needs filling, I will fill. So if there's anything at this stage I would see, I would fill it and lightly rub it down. After the next coat, I'd go again, fill and rub down, and keep going like that. If it's a big patch of filler, again, you would be better off sealing that with a watered down paint coat before you put something thicker on it. But the stage we're at now, what I want to do now, I want to finish the ceiling, because as I say, the ceiling, when I roll it, will drop little bits of paint over everything, and you can get flecks of paint on the walls and stuff. So I want to finish this ceiling before I then do the walls and the woodwork. So I've mixed up some more paint. This is now only about 10-15% watered down, so it's a pretty thick coat. And so I've done the edge already because I want to talk to you about rolling. So essentially, the first thing you want to do is load your roller up. So you just bring the paint back, load it all on the roller. But you do not want to put that dripping mess onto the ceiling. You want to just put a little bit of pressure and just squeeze that paint back off of it. Okay, so that is fully loaded, but it's no longer dripping. That's a good loaded roller. And then when I rolled this ceiling first time, I rolled it in this direction. Second time I did it, second coat, I rolled that direction, and I always alternate, just because I think that gives a better coverage. Some people say you should always roll away from the direction of a light source, so from a window. I don't normally bother doing that. Some rooms are long and narrow and they only lend themselves to being rolled one way, but on a squarish room like this, I alternate. So I'll probably go this way this time. Start in a corner. Again, you don't want to start right in a corner, because you're likely, when you first put your roller up there, to get a line of paint on the end of the roller. So if you've gone too close to the wall, you can't get rid of that line of paint because you can't get any closer to the wall. So you then want to just come just a few inches in, 4 inches in or something, do your line of paint, and then you can roll slightly either side of that line. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to roll not right against here, but away a bit. I'm going to just do a line backwards and forward, and then I'm going to go closer to the wall. Now I've got rid of some of my paint, and then come back again, and that's probably about it. I'm not going super fast with the roller, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the roller. I've seen painters for proper pushing and rolling, and there's sort of paint flecks flying everywhere. The idea of this is to put paint on a surface. If you run out of paint and you're really trying to labour that paint and you're trying to spread one roller full across a great big area of ceiling, essentially all you're doing is creating suction, and the roller's trying to take the paint back off. Yes, you can spread it thin, but really there's no need. You don't want it too thick because you'll get too much texture, and you don't want a really heavy textured ceiling. We just want a nice finished surface. So you need to spread it an equal amount. When it starts running out a bit, just stop and reload your roller again. Don't be too tight with the paint. Don't labour the paint. So I'm having trouble getting the tray in shot as well as the ceiling in shot. So I think I've shown you how to load this up. I'll show you again. So I would just pull a bit of paint back. That's now really heavy with paint. It's dripping off there. So I would just push it off. And now that's ready to go. And then I would come back, start that's where I finished last time there. So I'm going to go a distance away again, just sort of 4 inches away. So I can put my first line on and then I'll work towards that. And then I'll work away from that until I'm happy that it's no longer putting much paint on. I might go just over it again just to get a nice coverage. And that will be it. Don't keep going over and over and over and over it. Also, once you've done it, when you finish over in that corner, if you've been 20 minutes, don't come back and start rolling this bit again because it'll be drying. And the last thing you want to do is go back over it once it's drying. Just put it on, make sure there's no lines of paint, no great big thick areas of paint. Leave it alone, let it do its thing. So I'm going to tilt the camera up. Never either, by the way, stand a roller against the wall like that. It's tempting, it's a big flat area, but what it will do, it will leave a line of paint on the wall everywhere you've left it, and it's difficult to get rid of. So always leave it that way up. Okay, so I'm going to tilt the camera up so you can see the ceiling, and I'll carry on, and let's get that, have its third coat. So that's it, that's had the third coat now. And to be honest, that is basically a solid coat of white now, which is what I want. I don't want my last coat to be, you know, I'm really hoping that it's going to cover. I want the last coat to make it an even more solid white coat, not just be covering bare patches and stuff like that. So what you're looking for is not to have any lines of paint or any thick texture. Keep going until it's a nice, even, thin texture of paint. Just as it starts running out, stop, put some more on your roller and keep going. That's about it. This has got one last coat, as I say. I will cut the edges in again on the next one. I'm going to let that dry though. I'm going to go and actually skin plaster a cupboard, believe it or not. And then that'll be about 3 hours. I'll come back and hopefully be able to put the final coat on. And so that is it, a finished ceiling, 4 coats, the mist coat, the 50-50 coat, and then the 2 almost solid paint coats. And that's a really good ceiling. It's covered really nicely, it looks really good. So for me in here, the next thing to do is to put the skirting around and the architrave around. And then I'll come back and do a beginner's guide video 3, which will be bringing the walls and the woodwork in together. And also I've got some door linings there that haven't got any paint on them at all. So I'll be showing you how to do knotting solution and undercoat and stuff like that. So tune in for video 3. You should be able to find it on my channel. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and a like. And I hope to catch you on the next one.